Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you liked the last video, learning how to be emotionally intelligent instead of emotionally constipated. A lot of men out there are emotionally constipated. But I'm sitting here with Mario, earlier, and we were talking about the ways that men ruin their lives, the way that I ruined my life. And I wrote out these four things, just four things that men do that just nuke their life. And I did it myself. Coming out, the transition from, if you guys haven't, I don't have it on me here, but my book, Excommunicated Warrior, the 7 stages of transition. I wrote that about my exit from the military and then the 7 stages of transition that you go through and how to be successful and how to overcome a transition in life. Maybe it's, end of a sports career, end of a 30-year career, firefighter, law enforcement, empty nest syndrome from a mother with all her kids leaving, a divorce. It doesn't really matter. It's a life transition. And what happens is we give our identity to our style of life, right? I was a Marine Raider. That's who I was. It's the clothes I wore. It's the neighborhood I lived in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But when that leaves, we have this identity crisis, and then all of a sudden we start to self-sabotage because we don't know who we are. And it's these 4 things that men do during that time, or generally in time when they're not living with purpose, that they just absolutely ruin their life. And I did it too. Hell, I think, Mario, you did them as well, didn't you?
Absolutely.
When you left law enforcement, right?
Yep. I had no clue what I was going to do.
Yep. So these 4 life ruiners, I'll tell you right now what they are. They're addiction, toxic relationships, financial mismanagement, and then what I just said, emotional constipation. Mario doesn't like when I say that, so I'm going to try to say emotional constipation as much as I can. You may relate to one of these or all 4, but here's the deal, man. There is a way out. So let's go over the first one, is addiction. And it's not just about drugs and alcohol, even though that alcohol, you guys know where I stand. I think alcohol across the board is just it's a net negative. And people get in fights with me in the comments, and they comment all kind of like, oh, you're undisciplined if you can't just have one drink. And I'm like, here's the deal. One drink to me is a net negative. One drink, the effects on the brain, what it does to fat loss, what it does to your endocrine system, your metabolism across the board, you're a net negative. I can do things without alcohol. So it's not just alcohol. Like one for me is addicted to work. That was one of my addictions, especially when I got free from alcohol, when I got free from pornography, when I got free from all the dumb shit that I was doing, right? Work became another addiction because I was addicted to progress. I was addicted to success. And that addiction became a net negative, even though I was super successful, right? Like my wife's standing there going, what about us? And I've always said that I never want to achieve greatness and build this huge empire and do everything that we're doing with Johnny Slicks and the Agogi and, my other, ventures through Alexander Industries, real estate. If I get to the finish line and I'm there alone, isn't that just shitty? Because the whole idea is to be successful and across the finish line with your tribe, with your people, and to celebrate that. But to achieve success and to cross the finish line alone, man, I just don't think I don't think it's worth it. That's not my description of success. But the problem with it is social media, video games, beer, drugs, weed, doesn't matter what it is, pornography. It just hijacks your life. It hijacks your life. It's a complete time suck, and it leaves you a shadow of your potential. And here's another thing with the addiction. As a very high discipline man, I don't want to be addicted to anything. I don't want anything to control me, right? We talk about that all the time. We talk about the government. We talk about society. We talk about pharmaceutical companies and the food industry and all these different things trying to control you. So if we're not going to allow them to control us, why would we allow an addiction to control us? Because as soon as you're addicted to it, it's not even your choice. You're literally addicted and you can't pull off of it. So I challenge you to analyze your life. And it's like, can I do without sugar? Can I do without caffeine? Can I do without these things? Can I do 30-day stints with none of this stuff? Can I not drink? Can I set boundaries in my life, my work-life mix? I don't say balance. I don't like that. Or separate lives, work lives. You have one fucking life. That's it. You have one life, you live it. But you can have a mix. You can set prioritization. So that's the first one, addiction. Get rid of all addictions. You be in control of your life, not something being in control of you. The next thing, number 2, toxic relationships. And here's the reality, guys. Whether it's, your significant other, a friend, it doesn't really matter. A toxic relationship can suck the life out of you. Coworkers. It's like I heard somebody say, it's like being in a room and having a stinky pile of trash in the corner. And not just like the trash that you just pulled out, but like it's set over there for a couple weeks. It's ripe. You've got maggots and flies coming out of there. I mean, the odor is bad. And it's one of those things where this is a simple way to tell whether it's a toxic relationship. When you go exchange conversation or time with that individual, when you leave, do you feel your cup filled up? Do you feel emotionally powered? Do you feel excited about life? When you leave that conversation, when you leave that meeting, or do you feel drained, like damn, I need to take a nap? If you need to take a nap, that's an energy vampire. That's an energy theft. That is a toxic individual. There are people, most of the people that I talk to, that I hang around, when I get done talking to them, I want to go crush the world. For instance, I'll put me on the spot. Mario, when you first drove down and I came over to the Airbnb and met you and we had our first conversation, when I left that conversation, how'd you feel?
Talking about our Airbnb?
No. When you first drove down, your first meeting about coming on the job.
Yeah. I was pumped up.
You were pumped, right?
I was fired up, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because the energy that I bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very intentional thing. I don't want to ever make people feel like, and I'm sure you've been in, especially in law enforcement, you've had some toxic people in your life to where you're like,
just a few.
I got to get out of here.
Just a few.
And that's that feeling. Like if you go in this conversation, you're like, I got to exit stage right, like fast. That's your sign. And the sooner that you can remove those relationships from your life and replace them with the individuals that just freaking motivate the shit out of you, that every time you talk to them, you're just like, dang, I wanted to go crush shit. That's the people you need in your life. So that's number 2. Third one being financial mismanagement. Being financially unstable is not just about having money or not having money. It's about your poor relationship with money, having a poor mindset, having a poverty mindset. When the poverty mindset is this, every time you make money, you're so afraid that it's like, oh my God, I have money, it's going to be gone, so you just spend it. Like, I'm never going to make this money again, so I'm going to spend it real quick. Money is nothing but a tool. And it won't, yes, obviously it leaves you with debt and stress and missed opportunities and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is this: money doesn't buy happiness, because once you meet what you need to live, right? A good quality of life. Say you make $100,000, all your bills are paid, you're saving money, then you're good. $200,000, yeah, it's better. $300,000, sure, it's better. And there's a certain amount of happiness that comes with making more money, but there comes a point to where once all your needs are met, you buy some cool car, you buy some cool house. Yeah, it's cool for a few minutes, 24 hours, a couple days, and then it's just normal. So you have to ask, what truly makes you happy? What truly makes me happy is our mentorship calls, right? Our mentorship calls, the project, Squire program. And it's not about the money, it's watching the lives change, right? It's watching the switch get flipped. Like for me, watching Mario at the project being super sad. You were so sad.
Every time they took a picture of me.
You were so sad. But watching you flip that switch and becoming the person you did and end up becoming an honor grad, like that was a beautiful moment to let go of some trauma, let go of the stuff that happened to you. Yeah. Like that makes me happy. Hanging out with rad people makes me happy. So it has nothing to do with the dollar bill. Surfing is cool. Jiu-jitsu is cool. So long as those things are covered, shit, man, working out, like that's what makes me happy. So understand that you pouring money into bullshit is only going to ruin your life. But being in control of your finances, this goes back to being a rebel, right? Like if, not to get too off topics there for a second, but if you're really a rebel, you're living paycheck to paycheck, but you're just getting controlled by the system because they want you to be paycheck to paycheck. They want you to have to go work that shift. It's just enough to pay you just enough to make ends meet. So what I would do if I was in your situation, you're not going to make more. If you're not having the thing to make more, change your quality of life to lower your quality of life so you're living within your means. You have plenty of money. You don't need to be keeping up with the Joneses. You don't need the biggest house. You don't need the coolest car. Your life just needs to work. You'll be exponentially happy because of it, and you won't blow it up. All right. And the final one, and if you just watched that other video, emotional constipation. Emotional constipation, go watch that video. Is this one after that, Mario? Emotional constipation will be before. Perfect. So go back, watch emotional constipation. I get in depth there. But basically what it is emotional constipation is when men cannot articulate their emotions or have an outlet for their emotions. So they become a pressure cooker, but there's no place for the steam to go. And then what happens is you start turning to the other things. Bad money management, toxic friends, addictions. And then it just snowballs from there. And again, I'm no stranger to any of these pitfalls. I've done every single one of them. I fell into the trap of every single one of them. So guys, those are the 4 things that you can blow up your freaking life with. And if this video speaks to you, if this video resonates with you, please share it because there are so many men doing the exact same freaking thing. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And if you want to get into the Agogi group, click the link below, DM me, message me. Let's get you in there. We're growing fast, man, and we're changing a lot of people's lives. It's freaking awesome. Never quit, never surrender, always forward. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.